The Commanders look to make it 2 in a row this weekend when they host the Green Bay Packers. We preview the top matchups expected to play out on the field. Plus, the Commanders will have a new man under center this week. Taylor Heinicke joins us to discuss last season's meeting with Green Bay and how it's helping him ease back into the starting lineup. And it is homecoming weekend, so we are rolling out the red carpet for our alumni. It's a celebration of the old and the new as our players answer questions from you. Command Center starts now.
Let's go out there and do it and dominate. Dogs on 3, 1, 2, 3. Dog!
And welcome on in. We have Logan, Paulsen, and Santana here. I love sitting next to these guys all the time, but come Sunday, we're going to have 130 more alumni around for homecoming weekend. Santana, is it kind of cool to see all these guys come back, be around the building and at the game?
Definitely cool to see some of the old guys to hear the stories, you know, especially the guys who put up those trophies. I love talking to them. I see a lot of them, see Logan too much, so definitely look forward to seeing someone different and some of the guys that I never got a chance to really go out there and play with.
You can take that.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, so I'm super excited. It's always great when you can bring people back to the organization. You know, this organization, like Tana said, super rich history, so it's nice when you can bring that back, share the stories, share those experiences, and so that they still mean something to the organization, have value, even with the name change and all that stuff that's going on.
It is going to be about 130 coming back, and we've had activities all week long getting them with the current guys as well, which is really cool. But Sunday, it is all about the game on the field. We're going to have a familiar foe in the Green Bay Packers. For the fourth time in the past 5 seasons, we'll be facing them. Now, while Green Bay has won the last 2 meetings overall, Washington has won the last 3 regular season matchups at home. Washington's going to look to build off last week's win against the Bears, while the Packers are hoping to avoid their first 3-game losing streak since 2018. So far this season, the Packers come to town with the league's top-ranked 3rd down in pass defense. Offensively, both teams are averaging around 17 points a game, and only 1 yard separates their passing averages. But with Washington making a change under center and Aaron Rodgers coming to town, a lot of attention will fall on the quarterbacks this Sunday.
Honestly, he's pretty much perfect the way he plays, so you kind of got to minimize the gift that you give as a defense and the mistake that you do. If you play a perfect defense and you don't give any explosive play, like as we call it, gifts, you're going to be in for a good game and you're winning. But if you start giving him like the opportunities to go out there and make those big plays, because he's not going to mess up that many times, so don't give him the opportunity.
Got one of the all-time greats at the position. He's extremely accurate. Good decision maker. He can throw the ball from a lot of different slots, a lot of different angles. Gets it out, makes decisions, and gets it out really, really quick. So, he's one of the elite players at the quarterback position. Has been for a long time doing it. So, a lot of respect for him, and geared up, ready to go.
Having the familiarity with Taylor, I know we've had some quarterback changes over the years, and but having a guy that you've had work with, that the receiver group has worked with. That makes things a smooth transition. I think his ability just to extend plays is really big for us. The heart in which he plays with, I feel like a lot of our guys galvanize behind that. And I know he's going to give us a good chance to be successful this weekend. So we're up for the challenge against a good Green Bay team who's trying to get back on track. And, we want to try to get another win in the win column.
Time to go inside the matchup presented by FanDuel. This fantasy football season, get more ways to win with FanDuel. So if we're going to get into a little bit of the nitty-gritty here, Santana, let me start with you first. We know Washington's defensive line has been able to really get to the quarterback as of late. I think their offensive line, though, they've got all sorts of issues over in Green Bay. They're talking about shuffling, moving. What is the right lineup? And it's been one of the main reasons that their offense has struggled. How do you see this matchup going?
Well, I think our defense has to be sound in stopping the run. They have a 2-headed monster that they can get. If those guys get going, it could be a pretty long day. So I think we have a great chance of stopping those guys and also disrupting the pass. One of the things about Aaron Rodgers, regardless of who he has on the outside, when he has time, he can make that throw. So we have to be very disruptive up front to make sure that we allow that help for our guys in the back end. coming into this game, we have 19 sacks. I think we're fourth in the league, and these guys have allowed 15, sacks with Aaron Rodgers. So we have a chance to get out to Aaron Rodgers to slow things down on that side.
He's been sacked 10th most in the league. Not maybe the same Aaron Rodgers that we've always been used to. That's not afraid to just get out and run. He's also been dealing with a little bit of a thumb injury, but should be good to go. Number 2, the Packers defensive front Packers defensive front against Washington's offensive line. We're going to flip it there.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, like the battles in the trenches are big again for both of these teams. And you mentioned, Tana mentioned like how the offensive line for Green Bay has been struggling. The offensive line here has been struggling a little bit too. And this front for Green Bay is very, very talented. Kenny Clark is kind of in that same pantheon as Justin Simmons, the defensive tackle from Tennessee, who gave them all those fits in that game. And again, you get Norwell back, you get Sadiq getting a start. How do they handle a player like that? And then also Rashard Gary on the edge has been outstanding this year. He is so fun to watch. He's big, he's physical, he's rushing the passer at a high level. He's got 6 sacks. So what are those guys? Leno, who's playing right tackle? Lucas, what happens there? Really excited to see that match because it's going to really dictate the game.
And Sam Cosby was back at practice playing with the club on his hand. Not sure if he's going to go or not, kind of taking it day by day, but I can't imagine. I just know how important your hands have to be for an offensive lineman to try and play with the club. He said he'd use it as a weapon. That's one thing he's trying to figure out. So, yeah, the offensive line just continues to shuffle again for Washington as well. We're going to see a familiar face on defense. Joe Barry's our defensive coordinator, Santana. How do you see him going up against Scott Turner and what Turner may want to do with Taylor Heinicke under center?
Well, our offense have their hands filled, and I think when you look at this Packers defense, these guys are first and getting off the field at third down, and first and pass D. So 2 areas that we've been struggling with the last couple of weeks. So our offense has to find some kind of consistency and a great rhythm and flow to the offense. We must move the ball up and down the field, and at the end of the day, we have to score. So it's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, and they play that kind of aggressive cover 3 match, which looks like man, and you're really going to challenge the receivers and put them in tough spots. But it bodes well for us because we know what they're going to do. We know who they want to be. And can Taylor take advantage of that? This defense in Washington runs a very similar approach in terms of match cover 3. So I think that familiarity will be great for Scott and for Taylor.
We just heard from Benjamin St. Juste. He's really been doing great. Santana kind of quickly here going up against Alan Lazard, but they don't have a lot of the weapons that they were used to having, and it's impacting them.
Well, one of the things I like about St. Juste, he has the body type.
Yeah.
Every time I watch this kid, I'm like, look, he has the perfect build to be a shutdown corner in this league. He's still a baby, though. He's still young. You have a guy in Lazard that he's not the guy that they used to throwing the ball to, but he's climbing up that ladder trying to be that number 1 guy. He's not number 1 yet. I think we have a great matchup, and we should see a great ball game with both of those guys head to head.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers has not been in total chemistry in sync with his receivers, missing a lot of his go-to guys from the past. Meanwhile, it's going to be Taylor Heinicke under center for Washington as he gets his first start this season. He had 15 games he started in last year. The former ODU product completed 65% of his passes, throwing for 20 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, which he says way too many, but he did have over 3,000 and 400 yards. He caught up with our captain, London Fletcher, after practice to his return to the starting lineup.
Taylor, you got named starting quarterback by Coach Rivera on Tuesday. How's the preparation for the Packers going?
It's been going great. I feel we have a good game plan. Had a good two days of practice, and the guys are locked in. So hopefully we can go put on a show on Sunday.
You had an opportunity to go against the Packers last year, started against them in Green Bay. How was that experience going against this defense helping you for this ball game?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same defense. So a lot of the stuff that we saw on film from the tape last year that when we played them and through the games that they played this year, it's a lot of the same stuff. So we feel pretty comfortable about it, and it's all about us going out there and executing.
The Packers, they have the #1 ranked pass defense in the league, holding opponents to just 164 yards passing. What do you think will be the key for you guys to try to move the ball through the air against them?
Just taking the completion, take what's there. They don't like to give up any big shots, so you have to kind of pick and choose where you take them. And again, if they give me a little flat route for 5 yards, you got to take it. Whatever moves the chains and gets you down in the red zone. So, we see the numbers. They're first in pass defense, and but again, we just got to pick and choose where we hit them and just try to move the ball, bit by bit.
As you, it's been your 3rd season in this offense, having an opportunity to play in a system for 3 years. What do you think you can take from that experience into Sunday's game?
Yeah, so actually I've been with Scott for a long time. I was with Norv in Minnesota. I was with him in Carolina as well. So I feel like I've been in this offense for 6-7 years now. So, you know, I know it kind of like the back of my hand. It's kind of like a second language for me. But again, you know, my biggest thing is going out there and execute. If you go out there, execute, don't turn the ball over, move the chains, I think we'll be fine.
What do you feel like you've grown the most since we've last seen you as a starter?
Yeah, you know, I feel a lot more comfortable out there. I think that just comes with reps, and you know, having 15 games started last year, that's huge for me, the experience, and again, just go out there and kind of keep doing my thing. Go out there, have fun, and when I need to use my legs, use my legs.
This is a totally kind of revamped playmakers at the offensive skill position. Chemistry and timing is one of the big things that you have to get with your receivers. How do you feel like that's going so far?
Yeah, you know, the timing with Terry's has been there. You know, we had a lot of work with him last year, but you know, Jahan is different. I haven't really got to throw to him, you know, since OTAs. You know, it's kind of Carson's been working with him for the longest time. So hopefully get some timing out here this week with him. You know, Logan's not in there, so you know, we're working with Cole and Armani and stuff like that. So if I can start understanding their timing and their routes, I think we'll be just fine.
All right, thanks for joining us, Taylor.
Thanks for having me.
Game day details are delivered by Paisanos, where you get buy one, get one large pizzas on Commanders game day and free toppings for extra points on Monday. Order online at paisanospizza.com. The Commanders will take on the Packers at FedEx Field Sunday with kickoff scheduled for 1 p.m. It is the team's annual alumni game with over 130 former Washington legends expected to take part in the day's festivities. You can watch the game on Fox, or if you want to listen in on the radio, you can catch Bram Weinstein, London Fletcher, and myself on Big 100 or streaming on the iHeartRadio app. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers has thrown 14 career touchdowns and just one interception in his career against Washington. We'll have more coverage of this weekend's matchup later in the show and how to limit Rodgers. And we continue to celebrate our alumni during our 90th anniversary season. Legendary cornerback Sean Springs answers your questions in our latest edition of Commander's Code.
Hold your hat, for the fireworks are just beginning. A Redskin touchdown gels as Billy Wells fells the Cardinals with a dazzling dash of 79 yards to pay dirt.
You're the best team in football, but you got to prove it today.
In spite of what some of you may think, I can't walk across the Potomac.
Hey, cheers for the Redskins! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Just remember this, 40 men together can't lose.
There goes Griffin back in the end zone, got a man, diving catch, Art Monk, touchdown.
Make sure you are there this Sunday. It is the team's annual alumni homecoming game featuring a celebration with our Super Bowl champions at 10:30 a.m. Join the team for a Super Bowl-style parade around FedEx Way featuring over 100 Washington legends and Super Bowl champions. And when that ends, you can meet those former players in Legends Plaza, and you can get your tickets at commanders.com/tickets. Now, our alumni is always going to hold a special place in this franchise's history and hearts. But that also means we have to acknowledge you, the fans, because you're the ones that celebrate the players and this franchise as well. You are a part of our history. And we also know how important your voice is in the conversations that we have with our alumni. So in this edition of Commander's Code, we have our number 24, Antonio Gibson, with the legendary Sean Springs, number 24 from the past here, having conversation, answering your questions.
Favorite music artist right now? Ooh, I know mine. Go ahead with it.
I gotta go with Lil Baby.
Lil Baby?
He don't miss.
I'll be honest with you, man, to tell somebody I really replaced for me, for that generation, for the last 10, 12 years, I think it had to be Drake, bro.
Drake?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Drake. Oh,
Drake.
Yeah. You can't go
wrong with Drake.
You can't go wrong with Drake. For sure. Favorite food?
Ooh.
That's a tough question.
I probably get eat sushi every day.
For real?
I love sushi, man. But my favorite food, I'm gonna take that back. Not sushi. It'd probably be like Jamaican food, curry chicken or something like that.
Curry chicken?
Yeah.
I just got on that, but if I was to say every day, say any type of Alfredo pasta, chicken, shrimp, yeah, any type of Alfredo pasta I could do by any day. I gotta go with JD. That's the easy one. I go with JD McKissick.
You hilarious?
It'd be like sometimes he be serious, but it's funny at the same time, and sometimes he be playing, and it's him every day. Like it never changes. So I gotta go with JD.
Yeah. And he in the room with you too,
yeah,
so that's good. For me, it's the same way. I have Fred Smoot.
I listened to them spell the word Eagles wrong 5 times today. It ain't spelled E-G-L-E-S, and that ain't the way you spell Eagles.
And so, hey, dude, our meeting room was just like constant, like craziness. So, you know, Smoot from Mississippi, so, you know, he just, everything is like, man, it's like, what did you think of that?
I'm already knowing how Mississippi, you know, I went to juke out there in Mississippi, so I know how they get down.
You already know how they get down. So for me, it was Smoot.
For sure.
So why 24 though? Go ahead. So why 24 for you though? Because it means something to me.
Definitely. For me, it was kind of like a family thing. My mom played sports. My sister played sports. So
what sports they play?
Softball, basketball.
So your mom was where you get athletic ability?
Oh yeah, for sure. Pops too, but you know, mom definitely did it all. All the way to like middle school, I wore number 24. I actually got a tub full of jerseys, like regular jerseys, number 24. And then when I got here, they gave me the choice of 24 and 14.
Yeah.
I went with that 24 again.
I grew up, you know, my dad played for the Cowboys. So one of the dudes that was on the team was a dude named Everson Walls.
Yep.
You know, and Everson Walls was like my uncle, and he was a cornerback. And then I rocked 24. And then, you know, and it was one of those things in the league. When I first came in the league, everybody was rocking 21. I put on 24, then next thing you know, I tell Champ and Wood and all those guys, everybody wear 24.
You started a trend.
Yeah, so 24 just was one of those numbers, man, that just fit right and looked good. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Definitely.
Yeah, you look good in 24, by the way, too. By the way, you look good in 24.
And you can catch all of the Commander Code on our website, commanders.com. Now, this Saturday, NBC4 is the place for Commanders fans. Starting at 7 p.m., we hit the film room with Coach Ron Rivera as he gets the team prepared for the Packers on Command Center. Coach commands with Ron Rivera. Then 7:30, Brian Robertson Jr. joins the Players Club to discuss everything from his Alabama roots to scoring his first career touchdown. If you missed it, you can catch both shows on our team's website and YouTube channel. Now coming up, the Commanders' pass rush has been strong as of late and will be important to slowing down the Packers' offense. We share our keys to winning next.
I'm Donnell Rawlins, and to my left, Doug Williams. And to my right, if you know this face right here, Dexter Manley. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
They said that you were nuts in the locker room.
Wow.
They said that you were the worst dancer in the locker room. And this is something that connects to me and what people know me as. They said you never used lotion in the locker room and you was the ashiest person on the team.
I'm gonna say this. He did use some kind of grease or something.
10W40 or something.
Whatever it was, because he was greased up.
That when you start talking about the biggest Super Bowl memories, the biggest comebacks, it never comes up.
It doesn't, but you know what? And the reason for that, you know, I had a great game. To say this, the offensive line now was a Doug Williams fan.
Right.
You know, not to take anything away from the other guy, what have you. Joe Bugle, who was the offensive line, used to call me Stud. He used to tell the offensive line, he said, hey guys, he ain't going nowhere, because I wasn't running nowhere.
We knew that too. Whenever if you would get 3 yards, you'd be like, oh man, take him out the game.
And you can catch the latest episode of Chalk Talk on the team's YouTube channel. And on Sunday, make sure to watch Command Center Game Day Live, the official pregame show of the Washington Commanders, starting at 11 a.m. We will get you set for Washington's game against the Packers. After the game, do not miss Command Center Postgame Live for reaction analysis and interviews with head coach Ron Rivera and players you can watch on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter. Take command of your game days. Time for our keys to winning, presented by the Maryland Lottery. Play fast, win fast with fast play games from the Maryland Lottery. We want to get the keys to winning against the Packers as Logan and Santana join us back here in studio. Okay, Logan, you take it away with key number 1.
Yeah, so my first one is stop the run. And I know that might not seem like a normal thing to do versus the Green Bay Packers. They got Aaron Rodgers, they got all these playmakers, but they don't have all these playmakers now, right? They've got Alan Lazard, who's doing a good job, but then, Aaron Rodgers' chemistry with receivers isn't great. Yeah. They have A.J. Dillon. They have Aaron Jones, 2 of the best running backs in the NFL. You need to stop the run, make them one-dimensional. So much of what they do offensively is off the play action. Limit this, limit the play action, limit their shots plays, and I think you can win this football game.
My first one is pretty simple. We're not good enough to have self-inflicting penalties.
Absolutely, yeah.
To win games. So we can't beat ourselves. You can't go out there and play a team. And I don't think the Packers are one of these world beaters, but they're a team that can, any given Sunday, go out there and win the game. So in order for us to be efficient enough to go out there and have success, when we have success, we can't have these moments when we're shooting ourselves in the foot. That's why that's
especially with a new quarterback too,
exactly.
Right? You want to help him out, insulate him, right? Run game, all that kind of stuff. So the next one for me is win with the interior pass rush, and these guys have done a great job. Payne, Allen, excellent job, but goes back to my first point. Stopping the run on first and second down, you need those guys to win. But also the interior of the Green Bay offensive line is in total flux right now. They're moving guys around, guys coming off the bench. Who's going to play? We have some of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. Yeah. Let's get those guys cooking. Let's let them eat. No one can throw a football from their back. Let's get that done. Let's win that.
I think the last 2 weeks, man, we've been 3 and 22 on third down.
That's not a good percentage.
That's a bad stat, and so we can't be stacked in the offense. I mean, right now I believe having a guy like Taylor Heinicke, he's a guy that knows the offense. He can improv a little bit. He can do some things that, when it's off schedule, give you a chance when things are broken down and not clear. So we must see a little more consistency from our offense and a better rhythm and flow. I think it's going to be big to see how our OC can really, move the chains with some of the plays, our play selection.
I couldn't agree with you more, especially with Heinicke coming in. Can he get support from Scott Turner? Julie, what do you think?
I agree. I feel totally prepared to go. I know the team is tuned in. They've had a great week of practice, getting that little extra break after Thursday night football. Kind of does wonders to be able to catch your breath, let the body heal. Thanks for joining us in this command center.